Drastuit. My name is Kalatil Muhammad Alfat and I am from third group. So, Augustine Christian Philosophy. Throughout his work, he engages with the pre and non philosophy, much of which he knew. So, best read as a Christian philosopher of late antiquity, shaped by and in contest dialogue with the classical tradition. Augustine sees the forms as both transcended in the mind of God and immanent in the creation. In mind of God, the forms of thought are eternal. The forms of thoughts are eternal thoughts. Then there are five theories or five forms. The theory of forms, how we know the forms, the human soul, time rational, and religious expectation. When we say that God thinks, we don't mean that or God works through historical conclusion. Mind is quick and there will be a quicker solvent or compromise. The language of timelessness in God's thought create differently in Augustine. Augustine produced sophisticated interpretation of thinking as merging it with the philosophy of Plato, with the major of ideas take on the idea of God as an independent, immaterial and reality. Specific.
My name is Ravindranath Roshni and I'm from Group 3. Today I'm going to discuss about the topic Christian philosopher of Augustine. And St. Augustine is a 4th century philosopher who grounded-breaking philosophy influenced Christian doctrine with Neoplatonism. Augustine tries to reconcile his beliefs about free will, especially the beliefs that humans are morally responsible for their action, with beliefs that one's life is predestined. Augustine was perhaps the greatest Christian philosopher of Antiquity and certainly the one who exerted the deepest and most lasting influence. The impact of his views on sin, grace and freedom and sexuality on Western culture are hardly to be overrated. Because of his importance for a philosophical tradition to the Middle Age, he has often listed as the first medieval philosopher. Throughout his work, he engaged with the pre and non Christian philosophy, much of which he knew from first hand, and he is therefore best read as a Christian philosophy of late antiquity, shaped by and in constant dialogue with the classical tradition. He is convinced that the true philosopher is a lover of God because true wisdom is in the last resort identical with God, a point on which he feels in agreement with both Paul and Plato. This is why thinkers that Christianity is the true philosophy. And Austin produced a sophisticated interpretation of Christian thinking by merging it with the philosophy of Plato and Neoplatonism. With this merge of ideas, Christianity takes on the idea of God as an independent and immaterial reality, the transcendent God. Austin theory, and he believes reason to be a unique human cognitive capacity that compress hands deductive truth and logical necessity.
I am Kaipad Vinod Chandra from third group. Okay, now let's turn our attention to Thomas Aquinas. The Muslim philosophers had taken Aristotle as the best and last word philosophically. Even though the way in which the Averroes interrupted the Aristotle, there were all sorts of problems in Muslim theology as well as Christian theology. The problems with regards to absolute creations, problem about individual mortality, and so forth. To which the problem of the Averroes had responded with what really developed into a theory of twofold tricks, namely the truth of the religious belief. The truth of faith are formulated in popular language. The truth of philosophy formulated was theoretically precisely, and these two are some sort of tension that we need each other. Well, that sort of position obviously was very troublesome to Christian thinkers as well as Muslim thinkers. Typical of the Christian response was Bonaventure, who was a result rejected Aristotle altogether and continued with the Platonian as in the Augustinian tradition, developing that line of thought in his own complex worry. But on the other hand, Thomas Aquinas wasn't ready to give up Aristotle. He felt that regardless of problems, there was more potential in Aristotle metaphysics for being compatible with Christianity, and so he said that. He said to make appropriate modification in the light of Augustinian tradition. Therefore, emphasizing the Logos doctrine with the forms in the mind of God, emphasizing God's knowledge and creation of individual natures means the possibility of individual mortality. Aquinas' point of view then drew in the Logos doctrine that was transmitted from Augustine in the Church Fathers, such that the forms being in the mind of God, God has in mind the exemplars archetypes for all possible kind of things, even for the prime matter. Distinguishing between materia prima and in any way form the materia signata. The conception of prime matter is simply that pure potentiality. In other words, prime matter doesn't exist by itself, but it passes the material potential to any kind of thing that going to exist. And since the God knows every kind of possibility, because he knows all forms, he knows what is like to be pure possibility, and accordingly, God knows the prime matter. Telos is its proximal end, which contribute to the hierarchy of whole cosmos, contribute to the ultimate end that all creation should imitate and glorify God. Then, theory of individual natures for all created things. God knowing individual natures, a theory of substantial forms, and you will find that in terms in the literature without explanation. It is a form with matter constitute a particular substance. Forms as are in the Aristotle always immanent in particular substances. The terminology potential and actual. Potency, that is the prime matter, is that potential for substances. He speaks about three things that are needed for the generation. First one is matter, which is potential, and second one is the form, through which the matter is able to come to be something substantive, and third one is privation, that is lack of substantive existence, which precedes to be becoming. Then, apart from the substantive existence, none of the three things are anything at all. And elsewhere, he point out that in regards to the four causes, and he talks about it. The efficient cause of creation is God. The formal cause is divine and logos, and the final cause is God or imitation of God, and the material cause doesn't have any. The final causes need to be explained. The end-oriented nature of all processes. or that is also called telos. Thank you.